If you're watching this video, you probably already know about the Yashica 44. Small TLR designed to shoot 4x4cm images on 127 film. At the time of this video you can still get 127 film and shoot the Yashica 44 as intended. But a more interesting option is to convert it to use 35mm film. Not only does this give you far more options in terms of film stock, but because the image circle of the camera is larger than the 35mm film strip, your image will cover the sprocket holes, giving that ultimate film look. There are plenty of guides on the interwebs showing you how to convert the Yashica 44 to use 35mm film. The same exact steps apply to the 44A. Remove the plate supporting the loading spool, add something to keep the 35mm canister in place, and then cover up the back window so that light doesn't leak in. Unlike 127 film, the 35mm strip doesn't have paper backing to protect it. And that's it. Now you can go out and shoot. But as you'll quickly realize, the shooting experience is not exactly smooth. For one thing, you have no idea how to frame your shots properly. The waist level finder of the Yashica 44 was designed for square format, but the 35mm film doesn't cover the full frame. The film strip is narrower and it has sprocket holes, so ideally you'll want to account for both. One way to do this is to use actual film. Take a short strip from the end of an exposed film and cut the parts with the sprocket holes, leaving a bit of padding on both sides. Then remove the finder assembly from the camera and take out the glass on the opposite side. The focusing screen of the Yashica 44 is actually made of two pieces of glass held together with simple wire springs, so you can use this to sandwich your frame guides between them. It's very easy. I won't go into the full process here as this is more of an overview video, but if you'd like to see a more in-depth guide, let me know in the comments below. Alright, so you managed to frame your shot perfectly and taken your first photo. The next thing you'll realize is that advancing to the next frame is not exactly straightforward. The film advance knob won't stop automatically, and without the window in the back, there's no way to really tell when you've reached the next frame. First, you need a way to track the revolutions of the winder. A simple mark will do. Then, you need to know how much to wind after every shot. This is where it gets a bit tricky. Because as the film gets wound on the takeoff spool, the path it needs to travel becomes shorter. In other words, one full revolution of the winder will advance the film by different amount depending on whether you're at the start of the roll or the end. So, if you want to be efficient with your film use, you will need a way to keep track of your frame count. There are multiple ways to go about this, but what I have done was taken an old frame counter from a broken Ilford Sportsman camera and 3D print a support for it so that I can mount it on the cold shoe of the Yashica. Of course, this is a manual frame counter, so you need to remember to advance it yourself after every shot. Now that I can keep track of what frame I'm at, I will rotate the film advance knob for one full revolution for the first 5 frames in the roll, and then half a revolution for every frame after that. Doesn't need to be super precise. Alright, with this the shooting experience is already much better. But there's still one small tweak that you can do to make things even better. Putting a film stop holder over the back window. If you're running the film like I am, then you will get about 24 shots per roll, so reminding yourself what film you had in the camera is useful. More than that though, this will block the light that might otherwise spill in through the back window. So it's a 2-for-1. I 3D printed mine and attached it to the camera with double-sided tape, so that, like all the other modes I showed here, this too is easily reversible if I want to go back to shooting 127 film. It's fairly easy to design one yourself, but if you have access to a 3D printer and would like the model for this one, let me know in the comments below. That's it for now. There are of course other improvements that can be made, but I hope that this has at least inspired you to start tinkering. And if you've already come up with cool things yourself, let me know in the comments below. Take care and see you in the next video.